Welcome to the Rock Island Milan Boosters Club Tournament. Joe Winkle alongside of me, Tanner Rowe. And we are here to kick off the tournament tonight with a huge game between Peoria Richwoods and the Rock Island Rocks. About to get things underway here at Rock Island. Again, Joe Winkle alongside of me, Tanner Rowe, as we're going to get things started here soon. Here at the Rock Island Milan Boosters Club Thanksgiving Classic. Tanner, long off season, about time to get things started underway, don't you think?
Yep, it's about that time. Thanksgiving right around the corner, and it's time for basketball to get started up again.
We're about to get things underway, and first we're going to take a moment here with the playing of the national anthem here in a minute. Again, the Peoria Richwood Knights against the Rock Island Rocks, defending Western Big Six champion Rock Island Rocks, looking to make it 3 in a row here this season. Going to kick their season off against Peoria. Again, we are going to honor America with the playing of the national anthem. Welcome back again. Joe Winkle here with alongside of me, Tanner Rowe. Night one of the Rock Island Milan Boosters Club Thanksgiving Classic here at the Rock Garden, home of the Rock Island Rocks. We're about to get things underway. First, we'll get the starting lineups here. First, for the Peoria Richwoods Knights. At guard, number 4, a 6'1 senior, Preston Wells. Also at guard, number 11, a 5'10 senior, Jermaine Johnson. At forward, a 6'3 junior, number 24, Javier Ross. Also at forward, a 6'5 senior, number 12, Denzel Irving. And the man in the middle, number 31, a 6'5 senior, Xavier Newson. That's the starting lineup for the Peoria Knights. They are coached by William Smith, assisted by Robert Fisher, Damon Gillespie, Patrick Hogan, James Roberts, and Carl Taylor. As we're about to get the starting lineup for the defending two-time Western Big Six champion Rock Island Rocks. Here we go. At guard, a 5'7 junior, number 0, CJ Carr. Also at guard, a 6'1 junior, number 3, Trey Siegel. Also at guard, a 5'11 senior, that's number 21, Brian Richardson. At forward, a 6'3 senior, number 33, Rashawn Brown. And the man in the middle, a 6'2 senior, number 34, Robert Johnson. The Rock Island Rocks are coached by Tom Siegel and assisted by Rod Leatherman. And again, we got the defending two-time Rock Island Rocks Western Big Six champions over the last 2 seasons. And last year, nobody expected them to do anything after losing their best 2 players after 2 years ago, a state championship. Last year, they win the Big Six. No one thought they could do it. And then they come out, high expectations in the postseason, but have a devastating loss to start the postseason in the first round against Pekin. And they're going to look to bounce back. What do you expect from them tonight, Tanner?
Well, last year they had a returning player from the state championship run in Denzel McCauley, and we see him losing him this year after graduating. And let's see how the Rocks fare to recover down low.
It'll be big to see a guy that came off the bench a lot last year in Rashawn Brown. He's going to be their more than likely think he'll be their big key guy down low tonight, especially and throughout the season when we see these guys play.
And you also have CJ Carr running the point guard, and he's a very impressive player as a sophomore last year for the Rocks. Let's see how he's improved his game over the offseason.
Yeah, CJ Carr, a transfer from Davenport Central last season, who was huge, in fact, in some of their key wins. A game against UT last year when they won, he was a big part in, and also against Moline as Rock Island wins the tip. Rock Island going from right to left, Peoria going from left to right. Joey alongside of me, Tanner Rowe, as CJ Carr for the Rock Island Rocks brings it up. Swinging around, here's Richardson. Richardson drives, puts a shot up, foul, can't get it to bank in. 2 shots at the line to start this game, and that's what Rock Island Rocks. They're going to want to push the tempo and look for shots quick.
Yeah, that's a quick foul by the Richwoods big man down low, and we'll see how he plays the rest of this quarter as he picks one up early. Reminding you, both of these teams are extremely athletic, having gone to state championships and winning them in the past 5 years. Each team has done so.
Richardson's first at the line is good. Newsom with the foul for Peoria Richwoods. 1 foul, that's their first team foul. Richardson gets the first point of the season for the Rocks. Both teams' first game of the year. As we kick off this Rock Island Milan Boosters Club tournament, and Richardson hits both from the line, and Rock Island with some full court 1-2-2 pressure to start off the game. Richwood's guard drives down the lane. Fouled is number 24, Javier Ross.
It was interesting to see there. It looked like the Rocks struggled a little bit getting back. The Spartans had numbers for sure there.
Yeah, at the line, number 24, Javier Ross. The foul was on number 34 for Rock Island, Robert Johnson. First free throw is no good. 1 more for Ross. 7:37 to go in the first quarter. Glad you could join us, and wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving around the Quad Cities. Full court pressure here from P. Richards. Stolen away. Stolen away there by Jermaine Johnson as they get it back up. Here's Johnson again running the point as Richwood sets in their offense. Richwood's black jerseys, green lettering, white trim. Pass up to the point, Wells. Down low, here's Irving. Irving puts it up, foul down low. I believe that's going to be the second on Johnson. It's on, that's going to be on Siegel. He was in the mix there, and that's his first. Team second, 7:19 to go. And both teams early are putting pressure on.
That was just a heads-up play there on the inbound pass for Richwoods to steal the ball and come back the other way and draw the foul.
As the first free throw is hit there by number 11, Jermaine Johnson, a 5'10" senior guard for the Richwood Knights. Second is good, and Richwoods takes the lead. They get the ball in this time to Richardson. Richardson for the Rock Island Rocks. Rocks, white jerseys, red lettering, and gold and yellow trim. Working around, here's Johnson. Johnson swings, Siegel for 3. Bang! Huge 3 for Trey Siegel, and the Rocks are up 5-3.
Siegel just found the pick from the big man down low and popped out for the 3. Ran that play to perfection there.
Jermaine Johnson with a nice outlook pass to Irving. Irving draws in. Charge called on Johnson.
Seems like he got there just on time to draw the charge, and they're going the other way now.
And that was a good outlook pass there from Jermaine Johnson to Denzel Irving. That was a great outlet pass.
Yeah, that was nice execution off the full court press, and he definitely had the lane there to score.
Here they go, the Rocks setting up their offense. Here's Siegel. Kick to Richardson. Richards from the corner for 3. Off the mark. Rebound there by Jermaine Johnson. Richwood's looking to push. Johnson gets it across half court. Drives the lane, kicks out into the corner. Shot from 3 is up. Bang! A shot from the corner from Javier Ross. And Richwood's up 6-5.
And that's the second time I've seen Ross wide open down there in the corner. Let's see if they keep going to him here tonight.
Oh, foul down low, and let's see who it's on. A collision between Siegel and Ross. It's going to be on Richardson for Rock Island. I want to say a moving screen they're going to call. I'm not sure what the call was.
It almost looked like Siegel came barreling down on the defender there.
That's what I thought. Like I said, it was between Siegel and Ross. They collided.
Well, either way, we're going the other way now. Richwoods takes possession.
Peoria Richwoods, a team ranked number 1. Oh, ball aired pass stolen away by Carr. Carr puts it up, banks it in, and the foul An errant pass there from Javier Ross, trying to get it into Jermaine Johnson. Carr steals it. Carr with a nifty move down low, puts it up and in, and the Rocks are back up front.
So the Rocks get one back there after they had thrown an intercepted pass off an inbound, and they're looking for 3 points here from C.J. Carr.
Can't hit the free throw, though. Rebound gathered down by Xavier Newsom. Pushing it is Johnson, stolen away. Here comes Siegel. He's fouled there by Preston Wells.
And Brian Richardson did a nice heads-up play there, throwing the ball back in before he traveled or fell out of bounds.
This Rock Island team, you know they're going to be projected to win the Big Six this year. And the Big Six, relatively weaker than last season. A lot of strong teams, a lot of strong players in the Big Six. This year you look for a team like Rock Island and Quincy to be the top two in the Big Six this year, you would think.
Yeah, the other 4 teams in the Big Six really are rebuilding right now with younger talent. And Rocky has a little younger talent their own, but they're also experienced, and that's going to help them out a lot this year in the Big Six.
Nice dish down low to Brown. Brown can't get the layup to fall. Picks up his own rebound and puts it in. Nice backdoor pass there by C.J. Carr.
And a good recovery by Brown as well after he missed the first layup.
Wells gets it across half court, waiting for something to happen now. Swings it out. Here's Jermaine Johnson, and Johnson's going to have that zero kid in his face all night, I'll tell you that. Ross back to Johnson, stolen away by Carr. Speaking of him right there, Carr drives it up, lays it in, and right as we say him, he doesn't miss a beat. It sounds like he heard us, and C.J. Carr's
just relentless on both ends of the floor, and that's his second steal, leading to points each time.
Down in the paint. Nice little kick pass to Wells. Wells for three. No good. Rebound grab there by Brown. Rock Island looking to push yet again. Here comes Richardson. Drives the lane. Fouled hard there by Newsom, and that'll be his second here in the first quarter. Let's see. Yep, both teams looking to bring in some subs here.
The Rocks finding the line again. They've done a good job tonight so far of drawing fouls.
Yeah, I want to say this is already about their third or fourth time to the line. Rocks with an 11-6 lead.
And not only have they drawn fouls on the offensive end, but also on the other end of the court they've drawn a foul.
Yeah, they drew a charge on a nice pass. They took away 2 points for Peoria. 12-6 is the score. Trey Babers comes in for the Rock Island Rocks, and Quentin Franklin for the Peoria Richwood Knights, as well as Christian Johnson for Richwoods. And both free throws hit there by Richardson. Rock Island now on a 8-0 run here after being down 6-5. Trying to get it up the floor. Here's a 2-on-1. Newsom for the Knights lays it in, and it's back down to 13-8.
He had a man back door, but he decided to just take it up himself, and he draws the basket looking for contact there, but good straight up D by the Rocks.
Shot there, contested tough by Newsom. And here comes Peoria Richwoods. Nice dribbling there by Jermaine Johnson. Johnson drives the lane, gets it off to Newsom. Loose ball, scooped up by Carr. Carr always Johnny on the spot there with those loose balls.
Yeah, he definitely finds the ball on the defensive end, and he can also dish it like we just saw right there as Richardson draws the foul.
Foul there is going to be on Newsom. That's going to be his second for sure. That one's for sure on him. The other one we thought was on him, but it turns out it wasn't. That one for sure is on him, and that's 2 here in the first 4 minutes of the game.
And also the fact that that's the 6th foul on the Knights tonight already.
Yeah, so the Rocks are going to be shooting 1-1 the rest of the half. Until they get to 10, then they'll be shooting 2, obviously.
That could play a huge factor in this first half. As long as the Rocks continue to knock down their free throws, they're sitting in pretty good shape.
Yeah, exactly, and that's big for a team to build on leads when you have turnover, when you get fouls. And Carr with another stolen pass down in the paint. Here's Richardson, turns around, can't hit the layup, puts it back up, and he gets it to fall. Rashawn Brown missed the free throw. Then the pass got stolen by Brown after the rebound by Richwoods. Stolen by Carr, excuse me, and then Richardson puts it in. Johnson for Richwoods, trying to get something going here. Down by 8 with under 4 to play in the first quarter.
And to this point, the Rocks have really snatched the ball every time they've had the opportunity. Let's see if they can keep it up on the defensive end.
Down in the paint for Richwoods, Damian Jamison with a shot, no good. Rebounded there, up the floor, here comes Rock Island. Babers pulls it back and gets it to Carr. Carr from long range. Off the mark. Rebound grab there by number 33 for Richwoods, Brandon Roberts. Timeout called by Coach William Smith for Peoria. 30-second timeout.
So the Rocks out to an early 8-point lead here, and we've really seen them relentless on defenses. They look to really contain them there and get the ball back.
Yeah, that three by Babers just was so much space given to him, and he took advantage of it by hitting a three. Swinging it around. Back here, down in the paint. Bad pass there from Johnson to Irving, and a turnover by Richwoods. That's about their 8th or 9th turnover in this half, or in this quarter alone.
Yeah, and you almost wonder if it's just because of the fact that it's the first game back and it's just the lack of going through the plays, or if they just need to get back in the groove, as there's a good defensive play by the Knights and it leads to 2 points on the other end.
Cedric Hamilton cuts the lead to 4 with 30 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Babers gets it across half over to Richardson. Richardson near side wing, now drives the lane. Fouled there before it was in the act of shooting. That is the 7th foul, so Rock Island will be shooting 1-1. Foul is on Javier Ross, his first, team 7th. .25 seconds to go, first quarter. So we're here live from the Rock Garden in Rock Island, Illinois, home of the defending three-time, Western Big Six champions, the Rock Island Rocks. Also in 2011, a 3A state champion, now in 4A, trying to avenge last year's deflating loss to Pekin in the Class 4A regional semifinals.
Yeah, and you got to think after that loss last year to end the season, they come into this year with a little sour taste in their mouth and hoping to get back to sectional title games and super sectionals and ultimately state.
Yeah, there's a pass stolen away by Richardson. Foul called there on Javier Brown, his second. 10 seconds to go in the quarter. And Richardson's going to have 2 shots at the line. But yeah, I mean, Rock Island, the previous years before that, in 2010, they got all the way to the super sectionals, I believe. Then 2011, they won state. They lost their couple key players to that role. They come back last year. No one expected them to do that much. They had a very young team. Denzel McCulley, who last year at the beginning, before the season started, transferred away to Indiana and then came back right nearly before the season started to play.
Yeah, and
they lose their 2 big guys after this, and then last year they ended up winning conference for a 3rd year in a row. No one thought they could do it, and even with 3 losses last year in conference, usually in the Big Six, as Richardson hits both free throws, usually in the Big Six, if you don't have at least 8 wins, you're not winning the conference title.
And also the fact with all the experience that both the Maroons and Panthers had last year, you would have thought that they would have been up at the top more than Rocky, but
exactly.
The young Rock players found a way to get it done last year, and they look to do it again this year.
Here we go with under 5 seconds to go in the quarter. A 3 from the corner by Hamilton, no good. Rebound grab there, put back up, and it rolls in the quarter. The shot off the hand of Brandon Roberts. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter. It's 22-17 after 1. But again, we're saying, like we said, they made it in 2010 to about the sectional final or super sectionals. I'm not exactly sure where they made it. And then in 11 they won state, and last year they just played a team that basically in basketball, when you see teams get hot at the right time, it would be in that postseason run. And what Pekin did last year was special in the postseason with wins against Rock Island, a team that was favored to win that regional. Then they come in against Moline at their home floor, and they ended that game last year on like a 12-0 run to just seal it. Then ended up beating a team. They ended up almost beating a team that went to the state Final Four in 2011 in Normal West. So
yeah, that was just a matter of playing the hot team at the wrong time, but the Rocks felt they should have competed with the Pekin Dragons, and they just really came out flat in that game, so they'll hope to advance this year farther than last.
And you know Rock Island's going to be favored to win the Big Six, more than likely, with the young roster that UT has, and Moline losing a lot of seniors. Quincy, could be in the top 2 there as well.
And the thing about Quincy is everyone in the Big Six has to make the 3-hour trip
exactly.
to Quincy.
And that's other than Rock Island, because, you know, we're more sense to Rock Island in this area, and we don't really get to go up to Quincy that much, and we'll be here a lot probably this year. The thing is, no one realizes how tough it is to play there until you go there. Then you're like, wow, this is one of the tough places to play. It's such a small, impacted gym there, and it's like the fans are right on top of you.
Yeah, no matter what talent Quincy has on the floor or how good they are, you go to Quincy and you're never assuming a victory there.
Not at all. We're about to get things underway here in the second quarter. Joe Winkle alongside of me, Tanner Rowe, and I'd like to thank everybody listening. Thank everybody for listening and wish them all a happy Thanksgiving. A Thanksgiving under 24 hours away. Right around the corner, here's Johnson with a shot in the lane, no good. Rebound grab there by Babers. 5-point differential here to start this second quarter. Rock Island swinging the ball around. Here's Richardson up top. Nice little head fake drive the lane for Richwood. Defenders around him, and he gets it to fall.
It looks like the whole Peoria Richwoods night team was back there.
No kidding. Down by 7 here to start the second quarter. Tanner, what do you think Richwoods has to do here to get things going for him here in this quarter?
Well, in the first half, they really did a good job of avoiding catastrophe. It could have been a lot worse, and they could have dug themselves a much larger hole, but now they just got to raise their tempo a little bit and start to figure things out on the offensive end under this early season.
Yeah, and a very stretched man-to-man here is Carr up top for Rock Island. Richwoods, I mean, they had some turnovers and bad fouls that just cost them a lot in that first quarter. Nice steal there, looking up to the floor. Pass up to Ross, and blocking foul called, or as Denzel Irving, Irving's going to go to the line for 2. That was stolen away by Brandon Roberts.
And the Knights haven't quite forced as many turnovers or fouls, but they've had their fair share as well, and it's just going to come down to execution at the free throw line tonight for both squads, and winning the turnover battle will play a huge factor as well.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. Who can win the turnover battle and who can hit their free throws when they need it. And Rock Island's hit most of theirs, almost all of them. Richwoods has missed a few. As Siegel checks back in for the Rock Island Rocks. Trey Siegel, the son of Coach Tom Siegel. As we are getting things kicked off to this basketball season. It was a long off season, I'll tell you that. As we ended last season with some exciting matchups in the postseason and then finishing off after that. And excited for this year. Here's Siegel for Rock Island. Working things around. Back up top is Carr. 6.5 to go here in the second quarter. 24-19 to score. Brown stuffs one in there off the backboard after an almost stolen away pass from Carr. Lead back to 7.
Yeah, Brown just did a good job of recovering there after the bobbled pass and put it in for 2.
Again, here's Jermaine Johnson. Gets it over to Irving. I thought the ball got kicked there as it got tipped, but here comes Carr now for Rock Island. They've got numbers. Scooting back now as both teams go back. Here's Richardson. Richardson from the corner. Off the mark. Irving gets it back up to Johnson. Tempo both ways going. Big 6 to go in the second quarter. Johnson drives the lane. Up and under. Can't get it to fall. Here's Brown now for Rock Island as the pass was for Carr and he missed it. Brown short on the layup. Fouled hard there by number 33, Brandon Roberts for Peoria Richwoods.
Brown fired up after that big foul right there on Richwoods. See if he can go to the line and knock down 2. The thing with Richwoods tonight is their passes have been a little bit off target every once in a while, and that's really hurting them in the turnover battle.
Yeah, it's hurting them big, especially when they get the chances they do on outlet plays and good looks on fast breaks, and they committed a charge. After that, they miss layups on chances for 3-point plays, and little stuff like that throughout the game adds up, and it keeps piling on and piling on and piling on.
And they have the guys down there open on the offensive end. It's just a matter of completing their passes, really.
Second free throw from Brown, no good. Siegel, the short man with a rebound. Here's Brown in the lane. Can't get the layup. Rebound again by Brown. Still no good. Battling for the rebound again. Out of bounds. It'll stay down there with Rock Island. And the grit of the Rocks just keeping on fighting and fighting and fighting for every possession.
And Richwoods had 3 of their own guys down there to get that rebound, but they fought over it between themselves, and the Rocks are just going to maintain possession here.
Siegel at 3. Puts it in. And that puts the lead up to 10. Their biggest lead of the night.
The Knights just can't afford that. Points off turnovers are killing them so far. And see if they can recover here at some point on the offensive end.
Shot there from Maton Miller, no good for the Knights. Here's Brown, drives the lane, and count it! Rashawn Brown with the layup and the foul. And a wholesale line change about to come in for Peoria Richwoods. Richwoods just needs to get... They are so close from making something happen, but every time they get a chance, they turn the ball over, miss an open shot, and then Rock Island comes back and does something like this. They get a momentous 3-point opportunity.
Yeah, now Coach Smith is going to bring some guys in off the bench and see if they can provide a little spark out there for the Knights on both ends of the floor, really. As Rock Island seems to be just driving to the basket at will.
Brown hits the 3-point play. And they are up by 12, or 13, excuse me, largest lead of the night for the Rocks. 5 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the second quarter. Rocks lead 32-19. Handoff and another turnover by Richwoods. That's over 10. I don't know what the count is, but that's over 10 for them. At least maybe 11 or 12.
Easily over 10, and they just have slippery fingers tonight, it looks like, on the offensive end. Into the corner, Siegel again from 3. And again he hits it.
Siegel with another 3, knocks it down, and the Rocks are up by 15. And Tom Siegel, the head coach, the father of the kid that just nailed the 3, fired up as the Rocks take a 16-point lead.
Siegel's really found his range tonight, and he hasn't been afraid to pass up an open shot by any means.
No, not at all. That's about the 3rd 3 he's hit tonight. They are lighting it up from downtown tonight. Rock Island all firing on all cylinders to start this one with 4:50 to go in the second quarter.
The opportunity to drive the lane for the Rocks and also knock down the open 3 has presented itself many times, and they've really executed so far.
$16-point lead for the Rocks. Looking to counter back here, and Rock Island on about a 10-0 run right now, or an 11-0 run, excuse me.
This is not the way that the Knights envisioned starting up this second quarter early, and now they're starting to get into that little hole that I talked about earlier, as the Rocks don't come out on the court fast enough.
Yeah, Rock Island almost got caught sleeping there as they didn't come out on the court fast enough, and now working it around for Richwoods as they got their starting 5 back out there. Wells gets it over to Ross. Javier Ross guarded by Babers. Babers flips it over to Johnson, and a foul's going to be called there on number 31, Xavier Newson. Newson comes out. That's his 3rd foul. Back into the game, Brandon Roberts for Peoria Richwoods.
When Richwoods has had the ball tonight, it's been all guards so far. I'd like to see him try to get it down low and work something inside, get to the line.
Yeah, that would be, couldn't say that any better than myself, honestly. That was a great, you'd think they'd start throwing it down low. Speaking of throwing it down low, there they go, working around. Here's CJ Carr for Rock Island. Up to Babers. Babers for 3. No good. Rebound grab there. Fighting over it. And I couldn't ask for a better spot myself for the ball to just pop into my hands there. And Robert Johnson with an easy lay-in for the Rocks.
Yeah, the ball is definitely finding the Rocks' hands tonight on both ends of the floor. And Richwoods needs to recover here, put some points on the board.
Wells whips it over to Johnson. Johnson now into the corner for Wells. Back stolen away by Babers. Babers across half court. Babers pulls up from 3. Got it to go. And the Rocks are up by 21. And they're on a 16-0 run.
Whether it's Pavers, Siegel, or Carr, they're just finding ways to get it done tonight.
Yeah, all night Rock Island has just been nailing it. And here's a shot there missed, put back up by Brandon Roberts, and it's good.
That's just a strong pickup there by Roberts, a nice putback. The Rock's working around now outside, and Siegel looks for his shot, but he gets it outside to Carr for three.
Another three by Carr, and it's 43-21.
Everyone's just executing out there tonight for the Rocks, and three-point shot has been very friendly for them.
Into the corner now, gets it down low. Irving stolen away again. Here comes Carr on the break. Carr for Siegel. Siegel puts it up, banks it in, and the Rocks are up by 24.
Carr with another steal and just a nice pass there to Siegel, who finished it with the layup.
The Rocks look flawless right now to start this one. Wells with the ball now, flips it into the corner for Johnson. Johnson back up top for Wells, 2:20 to go, 45-21 the score. And this is not what Richwoods envisioned here, and a shot three in and out by Jermaine Johnson, and up the floor fast. Here comes Rock Island. Brown with a nice move, fouled by Wells.
And you wonder if Richwoods is really just starting to settle for the three, as the Rocks have really closed it out down low tonight. And they're not really hitting their threes, so they're going to need to find a way to get it done on the offensive end.
They need someone to just start hitting everything, honestly. I mean, the last game I was here for last year was a game like this where Rock Island was just dominating against Moline, and then Anthony Lindauer came out and hit 27 in a row for Moline, and that changed the game. They ended up losing, but I mean, Richwoods needs some kind of effort like that right now to just spark them. Yeah,
this isn't a position you really want to be in the Rock Garden in front of their home crowd, and this is something the Rocks really can do to you, and they have been doing to teams for the past 5 years now. They'll just come out real early strong and just putting points on the board.
Up the floor now for Richwoods. Here's Jermaine Johnson. Johnson in the lane, lost handle the ball, and another turnover. Jump ball going the other way. Or timeout called. Excuse me, a 30-second timeout. As getting down there and getting gritty on the floor was number 20, Grant Myers for Rock Island.
And heads-up play by Coach Siegel to get the timeout called his way. And a little tangle up there at the end, but nothing serious.
Also tonight, another game in this tournament being played out of town tonight. The Chicago Tilden Blue Devils are playing the West Aurora Blackhawks. They're playing at West Aurora. Both of those teams are in this tournament, and they will all be here Friday night. But Friday, we're going to be at Galesburg for the Galesburg Holiday Classic. We'll call in both Moline and UT on Friday, and that'll be another long day of tournament basketball action. But it should be a fun one.
Exactly. It's good basketball to be watched, and some really strong teams in the state of Illinois at that tournament as well.
Back to action here. Under 2 to play, second quarter. 46-21 is the score. Richardson with the ball for the Rocks. Foul called there on number 5, Christian Johnson.
And that was really unnecessary by Christian Johnson, as he kind of just tugged on Richardson's jersey as he was just cutting through the lane. He could have just followed him and contained him instead. Instead, he puts him at the line for the double bonus.
2 free throws coming for CJ Carr, number 0. 8, we're probably going to be hearing Agent 0 calls this year from him. Misses the front end.
The thing about Carr is he's only a junior. He's such a strong player out there on the floor, and it'll be interesting to see his game grow over these next 2 seasons.
Yeah, he's going to be a special player in this conference this season, I'll tell you that. Rock Island with almost a 3-man trap, and here's a shot by Johnson off the mark, rebound grab there. Almost Irving couldn't tip it in, as Babers now for the Rocks. 1.5 minutes to go. Gets it down low to Hawthorne, banks it in. 48-21 is the score. 27-point advantage for Rock Island. Johnson with the ball for Richwoods. 1:15 to go in the half. And Peoria just trying to get into the half without any more damage done.
With the Rocks tonight, you would never be able to tell the players that they've lost over the past 2 years.
Yeah, no kidding. The way they're playing to start this one is just outstanding.
Under Tom Siegel, it just seems like a team that just rebuilds and rebuilds every single year, and he's obviously doing something right with his talent.
Yeah, and a way to put it, a way he would probably put it if I was in his shoes, I would say, you're not rebuilding, you're reloading, and that's just what they do. They're every single year, no matter who they have. This coach knows what he's doing, and he puts a team out there that can win. Well,
they buy into his program, and they all just fill their roles and fill them so well. It doesn't matter who's in the position. He can really coach them up to victory.
Richardson puts point 50 on the board for Rock Island as it's 50-21 with 45 seconds to go. Here's Irving for Richwoods. Up, fouled, gets it to go, and the foul.
And that was almost another stolen pass, but instead it ends up as a three-point play, which potentially could be the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, no kidding. And foul on Myers, his second. So Irving at the line, shooting one to attempt a three-point play. 40 seconds to go. Irving misses the free throw. Rebound grab there by Richardson.
And Irving really is a big presence down on the offensive end. They need to find ways to keep getting him the ball as he steals it here.
Carr got a rarity of, usually you see this on the other end, but Carr gets the ball stolen from him, and then a quick foul there by him. Irving's going to go back to the line. Seventh foul, 31 seconds to go.
He'll try to redeem himself here after missing the and one attempt. Though it is 1-1, you could see him coming up empty again.
1-1. He does miss the first one, actually, and ball almost knocked away there, but Richardson holds it. We'll see if Rock Island holds for the last shot, and you'd think they will. 10.5.
As Carr just walks it up floor, they're in no hurry here.
Carr with a nice crossover move, hands it off to Siegel. Siegel double team, gets it over to Carr.
He's just going to hold it up top and watch the clock run out for the last shot.
Carr gets it to Richardson. Handoff to Siegel. Siegel fakes, makes a move, and Richardson puts up a three and misses it, but he was fouled.
Gotta envision that their plan there was to find the three with Siegel as he looked for it, but it just wasn't there.
And he looked for a good shot with Richardson there on the wing and got fouled there before he got the shot away. So Siegel's gonna have two shots with 4 seconds left, with a chance to put him up by 29. Hits the first. Babers comes in for Richardson with 4 seconds to go. 51-23 is the score. Second up, rolls in.
Just enough time for a quick shot here by Richwoods, but instead, almost thrown away, and they'll start on the other end of the court now with 1.5 left.
Yeah, they got a good chance to get a decent shot off. Let's see who they look for. They get it into Hamilton. Hamilton puts one up for three. Off the mark.
Open look there for Hamilton. He just couldn't connect on that one. A little bit deep for him.
Very much so. After 2 quarters of play, here in night 1 of the Rock Island Milan Boosters Club tournament, the score is Rock Island 52 and the Richwood Knights 23. We'll be right back here with the second half of action. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Joe Winkle alongside of me is Tanner Rowe here at the Rock Island Milan Boosters Club Thanksgiving Classic. Welcomed earlier, but want to welcome him to the crew this year. Tanner Rowe did some baseball with us last year and now going to be with us mostly full-time this season for the basketball. And Tanner, want to welcome you to the crew.
Thank you, Joe.
Getting things started here in the second half. Rock Island up by 29 as Siegel hits in the mouth, Driving lane is Richardson, high off the glass, banks it in. They're up now by 31.
Now we got a stoppage in play, and really shocked me in the first half. These looked like two very athletic teams, and the Rocks have really showed who the better team was this far, and I didn't expect it to be this much of a margin.
No, Rock Island just threw out the proverbial wall and threw a curtain of gigantic steel plates right in front of Richwoods, and they just couldn't move it all forward the rest of the game.
They were working on offense, defense. They were hitting their free throws and grabbing boards off the glass. Rocky was really firing on all cylinders in the first half, and they could really set themselves up with a good opportunity to get some guys some experience off the bench tonight if they keep this lead.
Yeah, and Peoria's not a slouch. Richwoods is ranked #1 in their conference. Highly marked team. They've won state championships in the last 5 years. They know they've tasted the experience of being in that high spot profile-wise, and Rock Island just coming out and showing them how good they really are to start this one. And Brown almost lost handle of it there. Up by 31 here with 7 to go in the third quarter.
The Rocks have really shown a lot against teams in their own class these past few years, and they've shown they can play with just about anyone in the state of Illinois.
Yeah, they're showing a lot. You're right. They're showing that they can play with anybody in this state, and they're very dangerous when it gets down to it. Leading, we didn't have the scoreboard up in the second quarter. Leading the scorers for Rock Island is Siegel and Richardson. They both have 13. As there is Javier Ross. He drives the lane and gets 2. He's got 6, or he's got 4. Excuse me.
See if Richwoods can get something positive out of this game and get a little offense going, play some defense, and if anything, just be happy with the way you won the second half.
Yeah, and this is the first game of the season. Everyone's going to try to get the kinks out, but you want to see what you're made of early when you play good big teams like this, and Rock Island is certainly showing what they're made of.
And it'll really prove a lot to Coach Smith for the Richwoods if they come out here in the second half and don't give up and keep showing fight out there, because they could easily hang it up here, being down by a big margin early.
Yeah, here's Jermaine Johnson with the ball for the Rocks after Rock Island missed a couple points, and Irving fouled, count the basket as Denzel Irving will go to the line, shooting 1. He's got 8 now on the night, as it is 27-56. Rock Island still up by 29. First foul there on Brown for the night for the Rocks.
With his size and athleticism, I'd really like to see what Irving can do out there in the second half.
Moving along, Richardson now brings it up for the Rocks. 5:50 to go, third quarter. Here's Carr with the ball, guarded up tight by Preston Wells. Driving the lane is Carr. Nice pass there off of Rashawn Brown's hands. Back the other way now for Richwoods.
I know it's real early in the second half, but it seems like things are going the opposite way now, and Richwoods is getting the fouls and turnovers here instead of the Rocks.
Yeah, no kidding. I know what you're saying there. Here's a shot from the corner 3. Rattles it in. That's Brandon Roberts. Timeout by Coach Tom Siegel trying to settle his guys down as they've came out and outscored them 7-2 to start the half.
And it's just a good job of showing that they're not going to give up fighting out there tonight. And no matter what the deficit, they're just going to play their game. And maybe they can cut it down a little bit, but at this point, you just got to hope they can stay in contention.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Coach Smith is thinking, let's just, like you said, let's win the second half, do what we have to do to make it a game. And, if crazy things happen, which it's basketball, anything can happen, maybe we're in it. But if not, then there's just hang around and take what you can out of games like this.
It is going to be a long weekend of basketball for the Knights, and no better time to start it off good than the second half of your first game, really.
Yeah, I mean, they got to cut. And big teams in this tournament like Tilden, Bogan, and West Aurora. Those are some good teams that they've got to play still in this tournament, and maybe potentially Rock Island again when it gets down to it. There's a battling for the rebound. Richardson grabs the board and he gets fouled after going back and forth with Rock Island. 5:17 to go, third quarter. 56-30 is the score.
That's the second foul on Roberts, and Richwood really needs to hop on the boards here in the second half. That's something they didn't really do in the first half. And
yeah, Rock Island kept getting those like second and third and fourth chance opportunities, which gave them a lot of points.
Yeah, they did receive a lot of 50-50 balls in their favor, but
yeah,
boxing out and crashing the boards shows a lot about your team. And of course, the other teams in this tournament are here watching, and you really want to see Richwoods just show some fight on the boards.
Irving gets the rebound there as Jermaine Johnson brings it up now for Peoria Richwoods. Driving the lane is Johnson. Nice kick out there and a foul called on the ground. Third team foul. It is on Robert Johnson. That's his second. Team third. Ross inbounds the ball. Shot from three by Wells. Bang! Wells makes it a 24-point game.
Wells off the inbound, just wide open, rose up for that three and just knocked it down.
Here's Carr now for the Rocks. Over to Johnson. Johnson far side. Now works it around far side wing. Into the corner for Siegel. Siegel guarded up tight. Nice little skip pass there for Carr. Carr with a head fake now swings it around for Rashawn Brown.
Richardson's probably keying in on finding those shooters around the perimeter. They got killed from deep in the first half.
Yeah, working around. There's another second chance opportunity by Robert Johnson. He's got 4, and it's back up to 26. Ross now with it for Richwoods. Ross drives, ball knocked away.
Second and third chance opportunities have really been the name of the game for the Rocks tonight.
Yeah, they've just been killing them all. It's been killing Peoria all night, I'll tell you that right now. Waiting for something to happen now, Johnson. Coach Siegel screaming out orders to his team as they run this spread out zone. Here's Ross up top to Johnson, almost stolen away by Carr. Now gets it to Johnson, now in the lane. Nice little pass down and banked it in, and the foul, Brandon Roberts.
Once again, though, the Rocks were all around the ball, and their zone has really worked out well tonight, though they have given up a few more points to start this second half.
Yeah, and those Rock Island, they're all lengthy, you know, and some, like I'll take for example, you got Brandon Richardson out there, or Brian Richardson, excuse me, out there for Rock Island. He's a short guard, but lengthy, and he jumps and moves around very quickly out there. And guys like that, they have all over the spot. And running that zone, when that defense collapses, it's good to have lengthy guys like that, and which they do, that can reach out there, that steals those passes that, you know, they drive and kick out to the corner, that can tip and cause havoc out there.
Yeah, they really do move around well out there, the Rocks do on defense, and it plays to their advantage. Coach Siegel definitely has the talent to play a defense like that.
Exactly, and there's Siegel Babers for 3. No good. Nice rebound there by Johnson. It's almost stolen away, but the foul's going to be called there on Robert Johnson.
See the deep 3 there from Babers, and wasn't necessarily the best shot, but he was definitely open.
Checking into the game now, Breon Hawthorne. Wells with the ball now for Richwoods. 3:40 to go, third quarter. 59-36. Into the corner now. Johnson shot from 3. Way over the mark. Rebound grab there. Now it's over here into the paint there. Up with it. No good on the shot there by Xavier Newsom. Newsom will go to the line and shoot 2. Just under 3.5 to go, third quarter. 59-36, Rock Island leads.
Newsom really disappointed in himself that he didn't finish there, but he can make up for it with 2 points here at the line.
First shot there, no good. Big weekend in sports for the Quad City high schoolers, and you got tournaments here in Rock Island. And then you got UT and Moline both playing in Galesburg. And then Friday night, football, Allman State Championship game against Rochester, which I know a lot of Quad Cityans will be watching that.
Of course, their second time down in 3 years, and
against the same exact team in Rochester.
Hopefully the Pioneers can bring home a state championship to the Quad City area.
Nice move. No, man. We're talking about ball. We're talking about football. And CJ Carr says, talk about me for a minute, with a beautiful move down in the paint with a nice up and under move that banks it in, that gets the crowd going a little bit. Shot from 3 by Wells. Bang! Right back at you.
That's a shot that wasn't following for Richwoods in the first half, but they've seemed to find it a little bit more here in the second half so far.
Working it around now. Here's Richardson. Richardson drives baseline. Fouled there by Johnson.
Also with high school sports around the Quad City area, the ladies got things started last night in conference play, and
yeah, they got a big 37-28 win against Quincy to start out their conference season at Quincy.
The Rocks also had a win over the Pioneers last night in conference.
Yeah, that was a big win for them in conference play. Nice pass by Carr, counted and the foul. Trey Babers with a chance for the and-1 for Rock Island. Nice pass by C.J. Carr. That was a beautiful backdoor look there on the bucket.
Yeah, they found the open guys tonight, whether it was for 3 or backdoor. Either way, they've got the assists, and the Rocks aren't afraid to share the rock themselves.
No, not at all. No pun intended, but...
Of course, the ladies started conference play last night, and the guys in the Western Big Six will get underway with conference play next week, and the Rocks will take on Galesburg.
Here we go. We get things back underway here. Near side, driving the lane. Here's Ross. Ross puts up a shot. No good. A rebound paddled there by Newson, and he puts it in. 64-41, 23-point game. Here's Babers now for Rock Island. Brings it back out, Siegel. Siegel over to Brown. Rashawn Brown back to Babers. Babers looking for something up top to Siegel. Siegel thought about pulling, it doesn't. And gets it up to the field general, C.J. Carr. Far side wing, there's Brown. Brown with a nice little spin move, trying to dish it off there to Hawthorne. Foul called.
It looked like the Richwood players thought he walked, but clearly they grabbed his arms. And it's going to stay on this end of the court.
1:51 to go, third quarter. 23-point lead for Rock Island.
Richwoods has definitely played better ball in the second half, but
yeah,
the
very
hole
much
they dug themselves into is just a little hard to come out of.
Babers a shot there, no good. Rebound there. Foul called over the back on Hawthorne. I'm going to say this right now so we don't have to say it at a later date. But it's gonna be hard not to look out for Rock Island wearing those bright yellow shoes. I felt like I had to get that off my chest. You cannot miss them with those bright shoes out there on the court. I'll tell you, they look pretty cool being brand new this season with the new shoe wear for the team.
Yeah, just a little bit of red accent, but they sure are bright.
Driving the lane as Wells puts it up and in. I don't know if that's bad or not. It gets down to the point where we're talking about fashion in a basketball game. I'm not sure. It's early in the season, I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, and I don't know if it is such a good thing to be talking about fashion this early in the season, but Rocks have showed a lot of fashion in their play tonight as well.
Oh, yeah, you could say that again right now. Siegel works it around the top. Johnson over to Carr. 1:10 to go, third quarter. 21-point lead for Rock Island. Carr thought about putting it up there maybe. Gets it over to Hawthorne near side corner. Siegel launches one from downtown, puts it in. And Trey Siegel makes it a 24-point game with under a minute to go in the third.
Siegel's showing me tonight that he's almost automatic from outside if he's wide open.
Yeah, no.
He just can't seem to miss.
Shot there and the foul by Denzel Irving. Irving will go to the line with a chance for a three-point play.
Irving's found his way to the line tonight. He just hasn't really executed, but that's already the 7th foul in the second half by the Rocks.
Yeah. After foul trouble early on Richwoods in the first quarter, now counteracting in the third quarter, Rock Island getting in foul trouble early. Trevon Aldridge and Grant Myers come in for the Rock Island Rocks here. And like you said at the beginning of the second half, two things. One, which both are going to one has been in play, and now the other is starting to come into play. One, Richwoods would want to just come out, as there's a foul going to be called there on Johnson for the Knights. One thing was Richwoods is going to want to just come out in the second half. You know you're probably not going to win, being down as much as you are, but you just want to take what you can out of it, and that's what they've done so far is that. They're playing pretty. They're still down 22, but they are playing very much. Oh, here's a chance for Myers off the bench coming in, banks it in.
That's just a nice backdoor cut as Myers finds a hole in the defense and nobody home to recover there.
Fouled is Jermaine Johnson there. Like, he's a great call or great play there for Myers off the inbound pass. But anyway, and Richwoods has played better in the second half. They've scored 23 in this quarter. They're playing very well in this quarter alone. And Coach William Smith for the Knights just wants to get out of this one with some positive. And I'm sure you can agree with me and say so far it's been positive in the second half. They played a lot better.
Yeah, they possessed the ball a lot better, made better passes. They've got the three to fall down a little bit and made a little better stand down low getting the ball back.
Yeah, I mean, they've almost scored as many points in this quarter as they did in the whole first half. As there's Aldrich, Rock Island. And then the other thing is, you want to get that ball goes off the foot of Babers and out of bounds. But another thing you said in the first half, which is starting to happen, Rock Island's starting to get guys that aren't going to be playing much to get experience on the floor, like Aldridge and Myers. Myers was in for a little bit in the first half, but Aldridge wasn't. And now guys and I'm sure throughout the fourth quarter you're going to see that happen more often. Siegel's going to get guys that you won't see much and see how deep he can use his bench. Foul called there, as Wells will get a chance to go to the line and shoot two at 12 seconds in the third quarter left.
Yeah, Siegel just has to feel good that his core group got him a big lead so he could put some unexperienced guys on the floor tonight, get them some time, and it can only help the team in the best way possible.
And I'll tell you one thing. One guy that I noticed, two guys that I noticed are not dressed tonight. And if we put the camera on the Rock Island Rocks bench, it's the first two guys sitting right down there wearing gray warm-ups. Keaton Shorter and Jacoby Julian, two guys that are going to be utilized this year. I'll tell you right now that when we see them this year, when we call them against Moline and Allman and UT this year. We'll see him against UT twice. We know that for sure. And we'll probably see him against Moline once or twice this year also. What you'll see, those are two guys that are a key part of the lineup that did not play tonight, and look what they did. And just saying, Keaton Shorter, another one of those shooters like Siegel or Babers off the bench that can spot up in the corner for threes, and a beautiful pass to Richardson. Richardson had to come back to it, traveled. If he wouldn't have traveled, I'll tell you, I don't know if he traveled or not, but I'll tell you right, that was an amazing play.
Yeah, I thought we were going to see a bucket and a foul called there, but instead we're going the other way to Richwoods with 10 seconds left. And as you mentioned, they have two key players sitting on the bench tonight, not even dressed, and only one other player down there hasn't came out of his warm-up, so Siegel's really utilized his bench tonight.
Yeah, and there's a shot at the buzzer by Wells, almost falls. We're going to go to the fourth quarter. It's 69-47, Rock Island leads. Richwoods with a very strong performance in that third quarter, still down 22, but it's hard to match this Rock Island Rock scoring attack. And they can just put it on you so much.
And if Richwoods really wants any chance in the second half, they're going to have to hit a lot of shots and just lock it down on defense. But I'm sure the Rocks will try their best to take the air out of the ball.
Oh, yeah, in this fourth quarter. Anyway, back to what we were saying, and you'll see these guys more. Maybe they'll play in the tournament. We're not sure. And I for sure don't know the status of those two guys, but those two guys, and Julian and Shorter, they played a lot last year. Julian's a senior and Shorter's a junior. And guys like that are guys like, from a couple years ago, I'll use an example here. Guys from years ago, like from UT, like Mitch Wright and Nick Jansen, two guys like that are going to produce, but you're not going to hear their name much because they're not going to be in the starting rotation, or they're going to be dropping 15 to 20 points a night or making huge plays. They're just going to do what they need to do and making great defensive plays and scoring when needed. And guys like Julian and Shorter, throughout the season, when they come back, they're still going to be even more dangerous. And look how dangerous they were tonight. I don't know if it's just a one-night wonder by how they're shooting, or if this is a sign of things to come for this Rock Island team.
Well, Siegel definitely has to feel good that he can throw anyone in there off his bench and get production out of them, and that's always a good feeling for a coach to have.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if I had the head coaching job, I sure would like to sit there and look down the bench and see about 10 to 12 guys that at any time in the game you can throw them in right at any spot, and they can come in through. Rock Island going to get the ball back as we start the fourth quarter. Joe Winkle alongside of me is Tanner Rowe. We start off the basketball season, and hopefully those listening in or that will be listening in, hopefully you can join us again Friday as we're going to be a beautiful move by Richardson there and can't get the shot to fall. Excuse me, as Friday we're going to be at Galesburg all day for their Holiday Classic tournament, and that should be a fun one as well.
Yeah, we should see some good basketball on Friday as we've seen here tonight. And of course, this tournament's going to have some good basketball presented as well.
Very much so. And there's Jermaine Johnson. Drives and cuts it down to 20. Foul there on number 24, Javier Ross for Peoria Richwoods. Through this, Tanner, I want to know what you're so far through the second half. I know you made the statement of, like we were talking about, Richwoods wants to take something out of this. If you had to evaluate the second half from Coach Smith's perspective for Richwoods, what would you say? What would you take out of this right now?
Well, from Coach Smith's perspective, you really have to forget about the scoreboard and watch what your team does on the floor to show their fight. But he should be pleased with the way that his Knights have played in the second half. They've shown a lot more aggression on the boards and down low, and they've worked the ball on offense a lot better and found their men on defense also, not letting as many perimeter threes go up or committing as many fouls as we saw in the first half.
Yes.
So he has to be pleased and ready to get back at it for their next matchup.
As again, tournament play will resume here Friday. We will be at Galesburg, and I got to ask you another question. What do you expect Galesburg, the Galesburg tournament? We're going to see 2 Quad City teams there, and I'm sure we're going to be calling other games as well, as we're going to be there all day at the Galesburg tournament. As here's an up-court pass. Nice, beautiful pass from Brown to Carr to Richardson, and the 3 of their key best players on the team, and that was just ball work to perfection right there. Yeah, there's no other way you can put it. That was picture perfect on this pass to Brown to Carr, and right, bam, a nice pass to Richardson with the lay-in. Well, like we were saying, we're going to Galesburg Friday for the tournament. We're going to see Moline and UT, 2 teams that are rebuilding. You know, UT lost a bulk of their players from last year that were key to their offense, key to their defense, key to everything they had, and Moline lost the 2 guys that were basically their team in Atwater and Lindauer, and it was tough for them because they didn't have Atwater all season, basically.
And not only did Moline lose 2 key players, including Atwater as well, as and they lost a head coach as well, Waukegan, and we'll see how their new head coach can step in and fill the role and get his guys to work. But both very young teams, and if anything, this Thanksgiving tournament for both of them will just be a learning process and also working on their game a little bit as they prepare for the regular season.
Yeah, and want to quick to introduce the 3rd member of our crew tonight, working the camera tonight, Jess Medina, with us all season, working the camera for us tonight. He did call the game that UT played against Bartonville Limestone at the Galesburg tournament on Monday. They lost. UT lost 69-50. Deverick Rogers led all scoring off the bench for UT with 17. And, you know, it'll be a learning process for UT, and it'll be good to hopefully see them come together, as that's going to be their team. The team they have now is basically their team for the next 2 years, and that's the team we're going to see the bulk of this year is UT.
And you also think Coach Polite has a lot to work with off his bench. He could throw out a lot of different schemes, but he's got to be excited about the freshman class from last year that set a school record for wins.
Yeah, and they got some guys, Lamont Ross, Javen Goodwin. That's just 2 of the guys that I can think of off the top of my head right now that are from that freshman team that played sophomore, that had sophomore experience, that are dressing varsity. And another guy that was a freshman last year that came through huge in some games for us was Ryan Meredith. And in all honesty, he's probably the player I'm most excited to see do work for UT this year, because that kid's got potential out of this world.
Ryan Meredith, the soccer star. You'd like to see that stardom transfer over to the basketball court as well for him. His second year starting as a varsity player for the Panthers, and he's only a sophomore. The Big Six has a lot to handle with the next 2 years of him.
Yeah, and we say that, and we still got CJ, and the Big Six still has CJ Carr to deal with over the next couple of years, so it'll be some good action this year, hopefully, in the Big Six. Foul going to be called there on Johnson. As checked in for Rock Island was Marcellus Butler, number 5 on the floor. Rock Island still with 4 of their starters in, but rotating. They now have everybody that dressed has been into the game. Checking back in is Javier Ross for Richwoods.
Well, not only is it the first game, and you'd like to get your bench guys some experience, but the starters want to get out there and play a full game too, just because of the fact that it's been a long off season for them as well.
Exactly. So here's Johnson with a kick back out to, kicks it back out into the corner for Wells for 3. Got it. And I mean, through this whole thing, it doesn't seem like it because of the score, but Preston Wells just came out and been shooting the ball outstanding in the second half. That's the 4th three-pointer he's hit in this second half alone.
Yeah, he's been a key player for the Knights in the second half. And as you said, the Knights needed someone to step up, and that's exactly what he's done. But just a little too late, too little, too late.
And working it around now. Here's Johnson as Siegel hits one on the end for Rock Island. Nice dish there from Johnson to Brandon Roberts. Siegel now working it up for Rock Island. 20-point game, 5.5 to go. Siegel drives. Back up top to CJ Carr. Carr looking for something to happen for Rock Island. Carr drives the lane, kicks it back out to Butler. Marcellus Butler for the Rock Island Rocks. Works it around to E.J. Williams. Williams off the bench for Rock Island. Has Coach Siegel barking out orders to his team. Here's Butler up top now for the Rocks. Taking the air out of the ball, quote unquote, and a jump ball staying on this end.
Richwoods player slams the ball to the ground. It looks like that was Jermaine Johnson, and the ref's going to give him a warning there.
Now working the ball around. Swing back into the corner to Siegel for 3. No good. Rebound there by Newson. Lost handle. Grabbed by Butler. Butler kicks it out to Carr up top. 4:40 to go. And a foul is going to be called on Newson for Richwoods. That'll be his 4th.
Late whistle there, but definitely a foul on Newson. And the Rocks will be going to the line. Now just 1 foul away from the double bonus.
Their foul's going to be actually called on both sides. E.J. Williams got the foul too. So Williams for Rock Island and Newson for Richwoods, as a pass there from Siegel out of bounds as he was looking for Robert Johnson. 20-point lead, 4.5 to go.
It looked a little bit of a hold there by Roberts on Robert Johnson, but no call by the official, and going the other way now. Each team is in the double bonus, as a matter of fact, and we'll see 2 free throws from here on out.
Nice pass from Johnson to Newson, and that cuts it to 18. That's the closest it's been in the second half. Nice pass up the floor now. Here comes Carr. Kicks it out to Siegel for 3. Got it!
You just cannot afford to give Siegel space out there, and he can kill teams, really. We'll see if this translates through the whole season if his shooting just keeps up.
Yeah, and I don't want to jinx the kid by making a reference, but a shot there from Wells to Carr. But he reminds me of Tyler Yoakum when you give him any inch of space. Because earlier, he hit a 3 with the guy just about yay far right from him. You give him any inch of space, and you get him a time to get a good shot off, he's going to kill you.
Right, and he also has that smooth jump shot that just falls right into the bucket. As the Rocks are going to bring in some guys off the bench here now.
Rock Island with the proverbial line change here, bringing in Richardson, Babers, Hawthorne, and Brown for Rock Island. 4:06 to go, 80-59 is the score. The second free throw from Carr rattles it home. 81-59 the score. Bringing it across half court now is Wells for Richwoods. Over to Johnson. Johnson waiting for something to happen, flips it across to Wells. Wells back to Johnson. Johnson from deep. No good. Rebound there by Roberts, but it's knocked away off of Hawthorne's hand.
Rock's still playing relentless D down there, and they want the ball in their possession so they could just run this clock out and get this game over with.
Shot in the corner from Roberts for three, no good. Rebound grab there, pass to Johnson, banks it in. Nice feed there from number 3, Cedric Hamilton. Up the floor now is Richardson. Richardson over to Carr with 3:30 to go. It is a 20-point advantage. As the Rocks
just to run there again, but Richardson just had no one. Is down low and wide open is Trey Berbers.
Berbers with a nice easy scoop in and makes it a 22-point game again. Newson looking for Newson, no good. Here they come on the run. Nice pass to Richardson, up with it, fouled. CJ, I'll tell you what, CJ Carr can do that anytime he wants. He can look one way, and then when you're not ready, dish it off the other way, and that's something special that we get to watch this season from that young man in the Western Big Six.
That's also 5 on Wells, so he'll be on the bench for the remainder of the game, and we'll see what the strategy is now for Richwoods with the man short.
Yeah, and the guy that's coming out was the only guy that could hit for them in the second half so far, but nonetheless, off the mark, and Rashawn Brown getting a little bit too slap happy. Got 3 minutes left. Tanner, what game coming in? Rock Island looks like they're going to get the win unless there's a collapse of the ages, which I don't expect to happen, but what are your thoughts on this game through the process of what happened?
Well, of course, it is just game one for both teams, but Rocks showed a lot of athleticism and relentless defense tonight. And they've also executed very well on the offensive end. It looks bright for the Rocks this season, especially with the bench that's presented to Tom Siegel, that he can just throw anyone off the bench and really get production out of everyone on his team. So it looks real positive tonight for the Rocks.
Richardson now backs off. Shot from the corner. Got it! Woo! Richardson does him dirty on the baseline with a nice little crossover step back bucket. Puts him up 23. Hamilton working it around. Here's Johnson. Johnson for 2, no good. As ref has to kick debris off the court. Richardson banks it in.
And something I've noticed tonight with the Rocks is timeouts called by Richwoods is that not only can they play their coach's game, but they also can play their own game when it comes down to it in transition. They create for themselves and can make nice moves with the basketball and quick cuts. They really find ways to get it done.
And it comes through. I mean, when it gets on those fast breaks that Richardson, that like when you see with Richardson and Carr and Brown like we saw earlier, we've done this, we've said this 100 times when we talk about stuff like this. They're just playing ball. That's just what they're doing out there, is playing ball. When they get out in the open floor, they can make a move, 1 or 2, and they're just doing what they're made to do. And that's run up, look one way, fake off another guy, make one pass, another quick pass, and score 2 easy points.
And really, Coach Siegel has an advantage with his guys. They're always just such a close-knit squad, and his players really seem to get along real well and played together since they were so young, all of them, always.
Yeah, and they've come through together. And even with Carr, him and Richardson both transferred from Davenport Central to Rock Island at the same time. And so they've had experience playing with each other, so it's nothing new to them playing together. And that's just the key. When you get players that have played together forever, since they were kids. It makes a huge difference.
Right, you could have thrown Carr into the mix, and having not played as long as with these guys, it could have been disastrous, or maybe not worked out the way Tom Siegel had thought, but it's really worked to perfection here these past couple years.
Yes, it has. And here's Marcellus Butler for Rock Island, works it over to Williams. 88-63. Rock Island looking to put up 90 on the board, and they do just that. Babers puts it in. As he takes point 90 or 89 and 90 for the Rock Island Rocks, does Trey Babers. Into the near side corner now, working it around. There's Franklin dishing it across to Ross. Back over is Franklin. Franklin down low to Roberts. Or excuse me. Roberts dished it off to Damian Jameson. That was Maton Miller, excuse me, not Brandon Roberts for the Richwood Knights. Here's Babers now for Rock Island. Babers drives, trying to get it to Williams. Babers holds on, knocked off of him. Or excuse me, knocked off of Marquette Eggleston. Out of bounds, 1:17 to go. 25-point advantage for Rock Island.
And a positive I've seen from the Knights in the second half is once you get down by a significant margin, you can start forcing shots, contested shots, and trying to put up things that aren't there. But they've really done a good job of finding the open man and getting the good look, despite the deficit they're facing.
Franklin with a steal and 2 points. Another steal, almost it goes out of bounds. Richwood's ball. Good defense there by Richwoods to force the turnover, and they'll have a possession here late in the game, down, even though still down that big margin, but not giving up. And the positives you can take if you're Coach Smith, you didn't give up. You still lost by a big margin, but you know it's a long season.
That it is, and all you can do from here on out is improve, and that's exactly what Coach Smith is going to try to get his Knight boys to do. Double dribble there. And we're going to come the other way as the Rocks might just run the clock out.
48 seconds, you would maybe Richwoods is going to pressure, so they won't be able to. Other coaches telling them to fall back. Rock Island might just dribble the ball out. 45 seconds to go. So we're closing this one down. 90-67. Marcellus Butler for Rock Island with the ball. Counting down the clock. Here is Rock Island's going to move on to start the season 1-0. Richwood's 0-1. As Rock Island looking to bounce back after last year's unsatisfying loss in the postseason to Pekin in the Class 4A regional semifinals. The defending three-time Western Big Six champion. Here's Babers just chucking up a three, no good. Rebound off of Richwoods. And we'll stay down here.
Surprised Babers put that three up, but not hearing anything from his coach. Seems to be okay, and they get the ball back and just going to run out this 9 seconds and chalk up a victory. First one of the year and game number 1.
Well, as the final 2-1-0, Rock Island is going to win this one 90-67. And Tanner, we said it earlier, asked it again. We know what you thought about this game here. We know what you thought from Coach Smith's standpoint. You're Tom Siegel. What are you thinking right now as you got one win in the season now?
Well, you got to be pleased if you're Tom Siegel, but at the same time, you realize it's a long season with a lot of games to be played, and this is just night number 1. Anything can happen throughout the season, but hopefully consistency is what the Rocks see this season.
I'll tell you right now, Rock Island, Peoria Richwoods, not a slouch whatsoever. Ranked number 1 in their conference, highly decorated team in the Peoria area. They got some pretty decent teams out there. UT is going to see a Peoria team this year, and Peoria Notre Dame come to United Township this season right after the Christmas break. So that'll be a big one later in the season. And one night through the season, opening night, Tanner, your first night on the basketball crew, as we get some entertaining basketball from the Rock Island side, the defending three-time defending Western Big Six champions, as we move now down to 9 days and under 9 days until the Big Six season tips off next Friday night.
Yeah, and it's going to be an interesting season with a lot of young talent in the Big Six, but Friday night we'll be in Galesburg, and we're going to see some good basketball there and evaluate a few more Western Big Six teams.
Like Tanner said, we will be in Galesburg Friday all day for the Galesburg Holiday Tournament. First, we want to wish everybody that's listening in hope they have a happy Thanksgiving, and be safe wherever you're going tomorrow for the holiday. And hope that you guys will join us Friday as we will kick things off with Moline. They play at 10 o'clock Friday. UT follows them at 11:30. That game will be down at Galesburg. We'll be there all day Friday for their tournament. Both teams will play 2 games, and we'll have other games in the mix there. So, closing thoughts through that. At the end of this one, Rock Island starts the season off with a W. The defending 3-time Big Six champions look strong against Peoria Richwoods tonight. They win this one 90-67. Signing off for Tanner Rope. I'm Joe Winkle. Want to thank everybody for listening in, and I hope you can join us Friday. And everyone have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. Good night, everybody.